Imagine, you are backstage, right? You are sweating under like 3 pounds of synthetic hair and full glam,
Oh my God, the lace front is absolutely lifting by that point.
literally melting off your forehead. And you've just dominated this grueling challenge. Your alliances are supposedly locked in a steel vault, and mathematically, you're totally guaranteed to survive the night.
Right. The math is mathing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then live on a brilliantly lit main stage. You watch your closest ally look you dead in the eye, break a sacred pinky promise, and eliminate you from the entire competition.
Chills. Actual chills.
Today, we are unpacking the exact moment a beloved talent show stopped being about, artistry and just mutated into this vicious psychological war zone.
Yeah, it got so dark.
It really did. But before we get into the wreckage, let's talk about what this culture is actually built on. It is built on sequins, lip syncs, glitter, found family, and the undeniable truth that pure, unadulterated confidence is the most expensive outfit anyone can ever wear.
Yes. Babes, welcome back. Happy Pride Month, babes. And remember, this episode here, actually, this entire podcast is for the gays, the gals, the guys, and the theys.
Period. We have had so many comments and DMs from the Snark squad asking us to share more Pride stories.
So many.
And honestly, looking at the themes of chosen family in this week's Makeover Challenge, this felt like the absolute perfect episode to do it. But first, the frozen watermelon margaritas are officially on deck, and babes, these are absolutely elite.
I am officially nominating the Ninja Slush Machine for Employee of the Month. I really am.
It deserves a raise.
It does. I don't even care that it's an inanimate object. It works harder than half the people I know. And watermelon is, without debate, the unofficial flavor of summer.
100%.
There is something profoundly psychological about a frozen drink, You hand someone a blended neon beverage in a fun glass, and suddenly the electric bill just doesn't exist.
Poof, gone.
Texting your ex doesn't seem like a threat anymore. A frozen margarita somehow makes every single one of your life problems feel incredibly small.
I am declaring these the official drink of Pride Month. Period. They are cold, they are unapologetically loud in color, and they pack a sneaky punch, which is exactly the vibe we are going for.
I am already planning another batch for the second half of this recording, honestly. But since we have these gorgeous drinks in hand, let's talk about Pride.
Yes, let's do it.
You never forget your very first Pride parade. It just imprints on your DNA.
It really does. My very first one was in Chicago.
Oh, wow. The Windy City.
Yeah, and I was practically a baby living in the suburbs, and taking that train into the city felt like crossing a border into a completely different dimension.
I can totally picture that.
The excitement leading up to it was physical. I remember picking out my outfit for 3 entire weeks. I wore this ridiculously impractical neon mesh top that I definitely bought at a mall kiosk.
At the mall kiosk mesh.
Oh, it was bad. And I was covered in body glitter that I am still to this day finding in the seams of my luggage a decade later.
The glitter is permanent. It becomes part of your aura. You just accept it.
You really do. What about yours?
So my first was San Francisco, and the sheer scale of it was staggering. The anticipation on the BART train over was electric.
I bet.
You had people in full leather next to drag queens doing their lashes in the reflection of the train windows, next to teenagers wrapped in rainbow flags. The music was vibrating through the pavement before we even emerged from the station.
The music is the heartbeat of the whole thing. In Chicago, I remember the absolute cacophony of it. You'd have a massive float blasting Whitney Houston, right?
Of course.
And right behind it, a group doing synchronized choreography to Lady Gaga, and it all just blended into this chaotic symphony of joy.
The best kind of chaos.
And the performances.
Yeah.
I saw a local drag queen do a backflip off the hood of a moving convertible in 8-inch platforms.
No way. A moving car?
Yes. It redefined my entire understanding of physics. I was screaming.
San Francisco had these towering stages set up blocks apart. I remember watching a performer in this massive feathered headpiece lip-syncing for their life, and the crowd, thousands of people, knew every single word.
That is magic.
It really is. The sense of community was overwhelming.
Yeah.
I grew up in a place where blending in was a survival tactic,
Yeah, I totally get that.
To suddenly be in a sea of humanity where the entire point was to be as visibly, spectacularly yourself as possible, it just rearranged my brain chemistry.
That is the absolute magic of it.
Yeah.
You look around and you see families, you see elders who paved the way, you see kids experiencing that freedom for the first time.
It's beautiful.
It is. I remember this one incredibly funny moment where a sudden downpour started in the middle of the parade route, like
Mm.
out of nowhere.
Oh no, what did everyone do?
Well, instead of running for cover, this group of guys in Speedos just turned the flooded street into a makeshift runway and started splashing and voguing.
That is incredible.
The unexpected chaos is always the best part.
The chaos is the feature, not a bug. I mean, I lost my friends for 3 hours, made best friends with a group of lesbians running a hot dog stand, and ended up at a rooftop party where I didn't know a single soul.
That sounds like a perfect day.
It was. I felt completely at home. Those memories stick with you forever because it's not just a party. It's a massive, defiant exhalation.
Honestly, babes, if you've never been to a pride parade, go at least once. The joy, the community, the celebration, and the energy are something you have to experience for yourself in person.
Highly recommend.
You have to feel the bass in your chest and see the creativity up close. It is a testament to the fact that we are here, we are fabulous, and we take care of each other.
But speaking of taking care of each other or spectacularly failing to do so, babes, we have a fabulous amount of mess to get through, so let's get into this episode.
Let's do it.
We are looking at All Stars 11, Episode 6, Too Many Daddies, and the fallout is nuclear.
Okay, let me just set the stage here, because the contrast between the heartwarming drag makeover and the bloodbath of the voting ceremony gave me actual whiplash.
I needed a neck brace.
Same. This episode is the ultimate reality TV paradox. They spend the first 45 minutes talking about chosen family and vulnerability, and the last 15 minutes executing a Shakespearean betrayal.
To understand the betrayal, we really have to look at the psychological exhaustion that set it up. It kicks off with the slap out of it mini challenge, which is just a brilliant nod to classic trashy reality TV.
Oh, I loved it.
They had to act out dramatic soap opera slaps, and Silky Nutmeg Ganache absolutely devours this.
She ate it up.
She wins the $2,500 tip, but she also coins WAIT. Why am I terrible?
I was screaming at my television when she dropped that acronym. It is that instantaneous wit that makes Silky such a lethal competitor.
So fast.
But winning that mini challenge handed her the most dangerous weapon in this franchise: the power to pair the queens with their makeover partners.
The kiss of death.
In a challenge where you are tasked with turning civilians into drag family members, the canvas you are given dictates your survival.
Let's analyze these pairings, because we see two completely different survival strategies emerge here. On one end of the spectrum, you have the proactive, aggressive approach.
Right.
Silky goes on the offensive. She purposefully chooses Derek, a ginger, bearded teacher.
Which is a choice.
A huge choice. She knows the judges constantly accuse queens of taking the easy way out if they pick a partner who already looks like them or has a petite frame. So she takes the hardest possible canvas to preemptively silence their critiques, aiming for this old, nasty Miss America pageant aesthetic.
It was so smart. But contrast that proactive approach with someone like Crystal Method, who ended up entirely reactive.
Oh, Crystal.
Crystal was paired with Antoine, a pediatrician. Now, Crystal's aesthetic is so specific. It's whimsical, it's chaotic, it borders on clown couture.
It's very niche.
And Antoine was openly resistant. He was deeply anxious about looking foolish. So Crystal isn't just fighting the clock, she is battling her partner's internal psychological resistance to her art form.
Which is the hidden hurdle of the makeover challenge. You can't just slap a beat, which for anyone unfamiliar, the backstage lingo is the full transformative makeup application. You can't just slap a beat on the guy and throw him in heels.
Yeah, you really can't.
If he feels embarrassed, he will walk down that runway like a hostage, and the judges will rip you apart.
Like an absolute hostage. That is exactly what happened to Salina EsTitties initially, but she managed to flip it. She was paired with Eric, an occupational therapist who was visibly vibrating with nerves.
Poor Eric. He was terrified.
He had never even looked at a pair of high heels.
Mm.
Salina essentially had to act as a drag mother, a physical therapist, and a runway coach simultaneously. She had to build his confidence from the floorboards up.
She really did. Meanwhile, Vivacious had a totally different hurdle. She was paired with Jeffrey, a photographer. Now, Vivacious was having a full internal panic attack about her makeup skills, admitting she isn't really known for precision glamour.
Right, she's a Club Kid legend.
Exactly. But she lucked out in the draft because Jeffrey naturally possessed a similar physical bone structure to her. It was a camouflage tactic.
A brilliant one.
Yeah.
Rounding it out, we have Aura Mayari working with Hector, a graphic designer, doing these elaborate moon goddess concepts.
Which were pretty.
Yeah, and April Carrion is with Kyle, doing a raincoat reveal that references her original season. So they hit the runway, and the underdogs actually sweep it.
They did.
Salina and Vivacious pull off miracles. They translated their distinct signatures beautifully.
And the fans were entirely aligned with that outcome, too. Looking at the live reaction polls online, like from drag tea served with Matt, Vivacious pulled an overwhelming majority of positive votes from the audience, like 74%.
People felt the joy.
They really did. Meanwhile, Crystal presented this chaotic, mismatched look with Antoine that got completely panned by the viewers. It lacked cohesion.
Okay, but I have to pause and push back on this entire judging metric for a second, because my jaw actually detached from my skull during these critiques.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The judges constantly hammer on this idea of family resemblance. Watching this, family resemblance feels like a completely arbitrary, vibes-based grading system.
It's so fake.
It's like being in an art class where the teacher says, well, I'm grading you on how much this painting makes me think of the color Tuesday. What are we actually measuring? Is it identical outfits? Is it the exact same makeup? Or is it just a convenient narrative loophole the producers use to justify putting whichever queen they want in the top or the bottom?
It is the ultimate reality TV loophole. Even Ross Matthews pointed out during the panel that it isn't supposed to be an identical twin challenge, which felt like he was directly contradicting Michelle Visage's usual demands.
Exactly. Make it make sense.
Because the criteria is so muddy, the queens are basically flying blind. They never truly know what will save them on that stage.
Which is the exact catalyst for the chaos. Think about it. If you are trapped in a maze and you realize the judges keep randomly moving the cheese, you stop trying to solve the maze.
You start looking at the other mice.
You start trying to manipulate the other mice. If you cannot trust the judging rubric to save you, you have to manipulate the background math. And that is how we get to Salina EsTitties and the total survivorification of this competition.
The crossover is fascinating. Salina openly admitted in her exit press with Paper magazine that she approached this season as if she were cast on Survivor or Big Brother.
Which is wild.
Wild meta-commentary, right? Considering they all live on the Paramount Plus streaming platform now, she is watching social deduction games and applying those cutthroat tactics to a room full of drag artists.
She was playing 3D chess, but I honestly think she was playing it against people who didn't even realize they were sitting at a chessboard.
Here we're playing checkers.
Exactly. She built these intricate safety nets. She had the Pekp alliance with Aura Mayari, which was allegedly grounded in real-world friendship.
Allegedly.
Right. Then she had the Tres Leches alliance with April and Crystal. She was literally hoarding allegiances.
But her tactics were aggressively manipulative, especially early on. Because Salina didn't secure wins in the first 2 weeks, she panicked.
She totally spiraled.
We watched her use weaponized vulnerability. She literally cried to Aura in the workroom, the backstage area where they prepare, for anyone new hereabout feeling like a failure.
Oh, the tears.
Using those tears to guilt-trip Aura into a pinky promise for a crucial point in the voting ceremony.
And this is where I struggle with Salina's game. Salina assumed her castmates were just pawns. I liken her strategy to trying to execute a hostile corporate takeover at a family reunion.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it is.
The mathematical tactics might be sound, but you were completely misreading the emotional room. Drag queens are solo acts. Their entire careers are built on massive egos, standing out, and individual star power.
Very that.
Survivor players are built on blending in, managing threat levels, and moving as a collective. Drag queens are fundamentally not wired for subtle collective strategy.
It's a huge ego clash. Salina assumed she had them in her pocket because they weren't typical gamers, but in doing so, she grossly underestimated their basic survival instincts.
Big mistake.
Huge, which sets the board for the most valuable queen, the MVQ voting ceremony, where the queens themselves assign points to decide who advances to the next bracket.
The voting ceremony. I need a fresh margarita just to talk about this because my blood pressure is spiking.
Same, my heart is racing.
Let me put you, the Snark Squad listener, directly into this pressure cooker. Imagine you are standing backstage. You know the math.
The horrible math.
Crystal has 5 points. Silky has 4 points. Salina, because she just won the Makeover challenge and absolutely demolished Vivacious in the lip sync, has surged from 2 points to tie the lead with 5 points.
And we should quickly mention, just to be impartial, that lip sync was to Nicki Minaj's Super Bass.
Right.
Salina later defended that song choice in the press by stating it was filmed before Nicki Minaj's recent controversies, so we're just reporting her timeline on that without endorsing either side of the political discourse there.
Exactly, just laying out the facts. But Salina is riding an astronomical high. She believes her alliances are cemented. She has the momentum.
She thinks she's untouchable.
What she completely failed to monitor was the shadow game happening during Untucked. For the uninitiated, Untucked is the backstage lounge where the queens are sequestered while the main stage resets.
It is a pressure cooker of cocktails and paranoia.
And it's where the real game is played. While Salina was basking in her lip-sync victory, Silky was executing a masterclass in counterinsurgency.
Silky is a genius.
Silky looked at the math, realized she was trailing with 4 points, and started quietly pulling people aside. She formed secret point-swapping deals with both Aura and Crystal, entirely bypassing Salina's supposed ironclad alliances.
Unbelievable. So we get out to the main stage. The neon lights are glaring, the tension is suffocating, and the dominoes start to fall in the most brutal sequence possible.
Covering my eyes.
First, Crystal casts her vote for Silky. Now, mathematically, Crystal likely did this to block Salina. Salina is a phenomenal lip syncer, making her a massive threat if she reaches the finale.
She's an assassin.
Crystal wanted to neutralize the threat.
Then Silky votes for April. This is a brilliant, cold-blooded reality TV move. It's a throwaway vote.
Pure strategy.
Silky knows April doesn't have enough points to challenge her, so she parks her vote safely with April rather than giving any ammunition to her direct rivals, Crystal or Salina.
And then comes the kill shot.
The dagger.
Aura Mayari, who made a tearful pinky promise to Salina, who is part of the supposed Pekp sisterhood, completely abandons the alliance and gives her vote to Silky.
My jaw hit the floor. The absolute betrayal. Finally, April stays loyal to her Latin alliance, but she gives her point to Crystal, not Salina.
The math is devastating.
The dust settles. Crystal and Silky advance to the semifinals with 6 points each. Salina is eliminated by a single point, stuck at 5.
The fallout backstage was supposedly biblical. We're talking a glass-shattering screaming match between Salina and Aura that was so loud the judges could actually hear it echoing onto the main stage.
It is embarrassing.
Salina felt violently betrayed, but later she admitted that her own arrogance after winning the makeover caused her to start managing her alliances. She stopped checking in, and in that vacuum, Silky swept up her votes.
Okay, but let's be incredibly real for a second. I have to call out the staggering hypocrisy of Salina's outrage.
Go off, please.
If you actively, consciously decide to play a cutthroat survivor-style game, if you literally use fake tears to manipulate your friends into promises, how can you possibly scream the house down when someone outmaneuvers you?
You can't.
You wanted to play chess. You just got mad because Silky walked over and casually put you in checkmate.
Exactly that. Everyone wants to be the mastermind pulling the strings, but the second you realize you are actually the puppet, the ego shatters.
It fractures.
It proves that despite the strategy, these queens are artists with real human emotions. When a strategic game bleeds into a real-life friendship, the betrayal hurts on a cellular level, regardless of whether you started it.
But Salina's outrage backstage didn't happen in a vacuum. It mirrors an identical, massive outrage happening off-screen right now in the living rooms of the fans.
The fans are rabid.
The fandom is fracturing, and the drama between the audience and the producers is eclipsing the drama on the screen.
The viewers are no longer just passive consumers. They're watching the show like forensic investigators.
With magnifying glasses.
There is a fascinating cultural analysis out right now in Extra Magazine exploring the broken contract of trust between Drag Race and its audience. Let's look at Crystal Method's edit.
Oh, let's look at it.
Crystal is universally adored. She is a pandemic-era beacon of joy from season 12. Yet the fanbase is in an uproar, accusing the production team of blatantly rigging this season to ensure she wins, kind of like what happened with Ginger Minj in All Stars 10.
The Reddit sleuths were pulling apart her Episode 4 duet win with Aura frame by frame.
I saw those threads.
They pointed out the incredibly elaborate, high-budget stage setup that group received compared to the others, citing it as undeniable favoritism. The fans aren't mad at Crystal. They are furious at the heavy, visible hand of the producers forcing a narrative.
If you track the history of this fandom's trust, it's a steep decline. Years ago, during All Stars 2, fans largely accepted that Alaska was preordained to win because the show made a highly entertaining, logical case for it.
Right. She actually crushed the challenges.
The magic trick worked. But the illusion started cracking around Season 10 and All Stars 3, especially with how certain queens were given highly negative, one-dimensional edits. Or after that controversial 2018 interview RuPaul did regarding trans queens.
Yeah, the trust was already wobbling.
And it completely shattered during the All-Winners season, All Stars 7, and the Jane Don't elimination in Season 18. Fans felt the editing aggressively forced specific storylines while ignoring reality. By the time we hit this current season, the audience is exhausted.
I look at modern reality TV consumption like watching a grand illusionist perform a magic show, except the entire audience has been handed X-ray glasses at the door.
That is the perfect analogy.
We have spoiler accounts, we track contestants' social media blackouts to see who is eliminated when, we listen to tell-all podcasts, we know exactly how the sausage is made.
We see the strings.
So when the producers try to pretend they aren't pulling strings, it feels insulting. We don't mind the magic trick, babes. We just hate it when you make it painfully obvious that the rabbit was stuffed up your sleeve the entire time.
It's condescending. But, some analysts think Salina getting quote-unquote robbed actually helped Crystal's narrative.
Really? How so?
It took the heat off. Because Silky's strategic play was so chaotic, it disrupted the predictable winner's edit they were allegedly handing Crystal.
Okay, I can see that. It muddied the waters enough to keep people guessing.
Which brings us to the most important part of the show. It is time to judge the judges, critique the queens, and spiral about every single detail.
Let's spiral.
It is time for our segments.
Yes. Segment number 1. Crown-worthy moment. We need to decide the absolute peak of this episode. Best runway, best performance, or the contestant who completely owned the hour. I am claiming the floor first.
Go ahead.
My crown-worthy moment goes to Vivacious.
Oh, interesting. Defend it.
The vulnerability she showed. Vivacious is a club kid legend. For her to openly admit on international television that she was terrified her makeup skills weren't up to par, and then to push through that anxiety and deliver a flawless, cohesive, joyful runway presentation with Jeffrey.
It was very sweet. It was a triumph of spirit. She owned her narrative completely.
I see your point, but I am actually giving my crown-worthy moment to Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Of course you are.
From a pure, analytical reality TV perspective, her performance in this episode belongs in a museum.
It was calculated.
She won the mini challenge, gave us an iconic catchphrase, took the hardest possible makeover canvas to block the judges' critiques, and then orchestrated a shadow coup during Untucked to secure her spot in the finale. It was flawlessly executed.
Fine. Mathematically speaking, Silky played a perfect game. But let's move to segment 2 because this is where the real fun is. Reading is fundamental. Funniest read, shadiest moment, biggest overreaction.
I'm taking biggest overreaction, and obviously it's Salina screaming loud enough to rattle the lighting rig.
So loud.
I understand the betrayal, babes, but you were literally crying fake tears 3 days prior to secure that vote. You cannot play the victim of a robbery when you were caught holding the exact same blueprint for the bank.
The lack of self-awareness was staggering. But for shadiest moment, I have to hand it to April Carrion.
Oh, spicy. Why?
She stayed loyal to the Latina Alliance, yes, but giving her point to Crystal instead of Salina when she knew Salina needed it desperately. That is a quiet, smiling assassin move.
It really was.
It didn't involve screaming, it just involved a polite execution.
Which brings us perfectly into segment 3. Shady, snarky, or stupid. We take the messiest choices and categorize them. Aura Mayari breaking the pinky promise to Salina. Shady, snarky, or stupid.
It's stupid, categorically.
Really. I lean shady.
No, listen to the long game. Aura burned a real-world, off-camera friendship for a reality TV point in a bracket where she was already struggling.
That's true.
She didn't secure an alliance with Silky, she just submitted to Silky's math. Now she goes back to the real world, out of the competition, with a furious ex-friend and a fandom that despises betrayal. It was poor long-term risk management.
Okay, when you phrase it like risk management, I agree. It was definitely a stupid move. But let's pivot to the future, because the game isn't over. Segment 4. Crystal Ball Couture.
Time for predictions.
We need predictions for what happens next. Frontrunners, eliminations, and the completely unhinged theories.
We have to remember that the eliminated queens, Salina, Aura, Vivacious, and April, are all eligible for the wildcard spot to re-enter the game.
Which is going to be a bloodbath.
My prediction. The producers know the screaming match between Salina and Aura was reality TV gold. They are going to manipulate the wildcard challenge to force those two to battle it out directly for the final spot.
Oh, that is deliciously evil and absolutely accurate. The producers never let a feud go to waste.
Never. What's your unhinged prediction?
My unhinged prediction, I think the fandom backlash against Crystal's favoritism is going to get so loud that the producers will edit a sudden, shocking stumble into her storyline in the semifinals just to prove to the audience that the show isn't rigged.
Wow.
They're going to sacrifice her track record to save the brand's integrity.
That is dark, bestie. But in the era of the X-ray glasses, sacrificing a fan favorite to maintain the illusion of fairness might be the only card production has left to play.
Which means we, the audience, are actually the ones holding the strings. We are the ultimate architects of this reality television landscape.
We really are.
Babes, this has been an exhausting, exhilarating mess of an episode, and we want to know what you think. Snark Squad, get into the comments right now.
Yes. We want to know which runway look from the Makeover Challenge lived rent-free in your head. Who had the best transformation? Also, we shared ours, but what is your absolute favorite Pride memory?
Which queen are you actively rooting for to take the crown? And if you have never been to a Pride celebration, what performance, event, or city would you be most excited to see? Talk to us.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, sipping these phenomenal watermelon margaritas, and spiraling over the details. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with your most fabulous friend.
Stay fabulous, babes. Stay messy. And we'll see you on the Snark side.